This course is a course on the Hebrew Old Testament offered by University Baptist Church in Houston, Texas. My name is Harry Brewer. I'm the teacher. I learned Hebrew in seminary decades ago, and I've been using it for my own study ever since. Share the screen here. The course is based on the textbook Hebrew Grammar of the Old Testament by Gary Pratico and Miles Van Pelt. It's commonly used across the U.S. We teach it in 3 terms or groups of classes. The first group of classes covers the non-verbs, which are the first 11 chapters of the textbook. The next term, 102, covers the verb conjugations, which is the next chapters 12 through about 20, 22 maybe. And then the last term covers the verb roots, which is basically chapter 24 to 35. We're in Hebrew 102, the second term. The first 2 classes review term 1. The second 2 go into the perfect tense. The next 2 go into the imperfect tense. And this lesson 7 will review the imperfect and move on into the Waw Consecutive. So let's review a couple things we saw here from last week. We saw that in the imperfect, it starts with a yod, and if you have a guttural in the first character, like here, hey, then you're not going to get a shawah, you're going to get a composite shawah, but it's consistent all the way down, and the prefixes and suffixes are consistent. If it starts with an ayin, you'll get a pathak in the same pattern. If it starts with an aleph, then you'll get a cholah, yomer, tomer, tomeri, omer. This is a little different because the aleph is serving as both the prefix and the root for the verb. So that's what we covered last week. We also covered gutturals in the second character, which really only add a composite shawah in the plural, so the differences here are minor. Oh, there's one in the singular. Yivchar, Yivchar, Tivchar, Tivchari, Evchar. In the plural, they choose. Yivcharu, they will choose. Tivach, Yivarch. Y'all masculine will choose Tivcharu, and y'all feminine will choose Tivaru. We will choose the Nivchal. You also get some changes with the yod. A double yod in the first character, Hebrew doesn't like to do that, so it will either go to a seri, it'll go to a long vowel, or the yod will become part of a vowel. So here at Yashav, you wind up with a yeshe, and then he will say teshev, she will sit. Teshev, you masculine will sit. Teshvi, you feminine will sit. Eshbe, eshev, I will sit. Yeshvu, they will sit. Yeshavna, the feminine will sit. Teshvu, y'all masculine will sit. Teshevna, y'all feminine only will sit. And neshev, we will sit. And sometimes the noon will do that as well. So here we get the noon completely going away. And instead of Nepal or Yinpol, we get Yipol, where he will fall, Tipol, she will fall. Tipple, you will fall. Tipple, the feminine will fall. Epple, I will fall. In the plural, it's yiplu, they will fall. Tipolna, the feminine will fall. Yiplu, the all masculine will fall. Tipolna, the all feminine only will fall. And Nepal, we will fall. And again, the nun is double served then as the prefix as well as the root of the word. Okay, today, let's see, this is also a review from last week. If the last character is an aleph or a hey, then you get a minor change. Yishlach, he will send. Tishlach, she will send. Tishlach, you will send. Tishlachi, the feminine will send. Eshlach, I will send. Yishlachu, they will send. Tishlach, no, they, they feminine will send. Tishlachu, y'all masculine will send. Tishlach, no, y'all feminine only will send. And nishlach. So very little difference there. However, if there's an aleph at the end, the aleph tends to elide or just kind of go silent. So at first you get a yimla, he will find. And then you get a timla, she will find. And then the timla, the masculine will find. No, I'm sorry, it's not la. It's yimsa. Yimsa, he will find. Timsa, she will find. Timsa, you masculine will find. Timsa, you feminine will find. Emtsa, I will find. Yimsa'u, they will find. Timsen, no, they will find. Timsa'u, y'all masculine will find. Timsen, y'all feminine only will find. And nimtsa, we will find. If it's a hey, however, the hey tends to just completely go away. So at first you get a we will build, yimna, which is slightly different. And then she will build tivna. Then you masculine, tivna, you feminine, tivni. So all of a sudden the hey is gone, and you just have the yod. And then Evna, I will build. Yevnu, they will build. Yevneyana, they feminine will build. Tevnu, y'all masculine will build. Tevneyana, y'all feminine only will build. And Yevne, we will build. So the hey acts especially unusual in these circumstances. Although the endings are the same, it's just the hey may turn to a yod instead. Okay, we get doubly weak verbs. Natan is considered doubly weak to give, as well as nasa, because the nun and the aleph, the yatsa, a yod and an aleph. So let's look at those. And first you see right away the nun goes away and it becomes yitan, he will give. Titan, she will give. Titan, you masculine will give. Titni, you feminine will give. Etan, I will give. Notice the white there drops clear to a town nun, just part of the root. Itnu, they will give. Titena, the feminine will give. And here you're just down to the ta. The nun after it is part of it is the root. It's a dogish, so there's two nuns there. The first part's part of the root, the second one is part of the ending. Titnu, y'all masculine will give. Titena, y'all feminine only will give. And nitan, we will give. Nasa is to lift up. He will lift up. To lift up. He lifted up his eyes. So Yasa is he will lift up. Tisa, she will lift up. Tisa, you will lift up. Tis you feminine will lift up. Asa, I will lift up. Su, they will lift up. Tisena, they feminine will lift up. Tisu, y'all will lift up. Tisena, y'all feminine only will lift up. For example, to lift up your eyes might be tisena, because eyes are feminine. And then nisa, we will lift up. And then the third one here is yatsa, to go out. So the yod turns to a sari, yetse, and then she will go out as tatse, you masculine as tatse, you feminine as tatse. I will go out as eitse. They will go out as yetsu, the feminine, yetsen. Y'all masculine will go out, tatsu. Y'all feminine only will go out, tatsen. And we will go out, natse. So you can see they vary a bit there. The endings are the same, but sometimes the root, well, in this case, the yod kind of aligns. Aleph, it doesn't have a separate letter. It kind of combines with what's there. And one more group, but those are common words. I'm sorry, let me go back here. Natan, to give is very common. Asa, to lift up your eyes is common. To go out is common. So these are common words. And same thing on this page. Asa is to do or make, very common. Ya'a. Haya is to be or become. The being verb is basic. It's not that common, but it's used a lot. And then ra'a, to see, is very common. So asa, to do or make. Ya'asa, he will do or make. Ta'asa, she will do or make. Ta'asa, actually, you will do or make. Ta'asi, you feminine will do or make. E'asa, I will do or make. Ya'asu, they will do or make. Te'asa, no, they feminine will do or make. Te'asu, y'all will do or make. Te'asena, y'all feminine only will do or make. And na'asa, we will do or make. In the being verb, you go through the same pattern, it changes, and occasionally you see some of these. So this is surprising because the yod and the hey are not that common. So you get yeah, as he will be, he will become. Tiya, she will be, she will become. Tiya, you will be, you will become. Tiyi, you feminine will be or become. Eya, I will be or become. The word for I am is Eya, so that's seen in Exodus 3. Eyu, they will be or become. Teyena, they will, feminine will be or become. Teyu, y'all will become or be. Teyena, y'all feminine only will be or become. And then Neya, we will be or become. Anyway, so that's the being verb. And on occasion you see some of these forms. More commonly you'll see year he will see, tir she will see, tir the masculine will see, tir the feminine will see, ir I will see, ir they will see, tir enna, they feminine will see, tir y'all masculine will see, tir enna, y'all feminine only will see, and near we will see. So there's the doubly weak verbs for the imperfect. We have one more set. It's the biconsonant biconsonantal verbs. The verbs only have two letters, like com and sham and ba. Really, they have a hidden letter. The com is really kum. It's got a shurik. The sim is hirikiod. And the bow has a halawa. So when we go to those guys and look at them, we get this set. So Yakum, he will arise. Takum, she will arise. Takum, you masculine will arise. Takumi, you feminine will arise. Akum, I will arise. Yakumu, they will arise. Takumena, the feminine will arise. Takum, y'all will arise. Takumena, y'all feminine only will arise. Nakum, we will arise. So that's the word for arise. It's usually it's God and he's arising for judgment. So be careful. But a person can arise as well. To place is a common word. Yasin, he will set her place. Tasin, she will set her place. Tasin, you will set her place. Tasini, you feminine will set her place. Asin, I will set her place. Yasimo, they will set her place. Tesi Mena, no, Tesi Mena, they will set her place. They feminine will set her place. Tasim, y'all will set her place. Tasimena, y'all feminine only will set her place. Nasim, we will set her place. And the next one of these is bo for come, which is common word again. Yabo, he will come. Tabo, she will come. Tabo, you masculine will come. Taboi, you feminine will come. Abo, I will come. Yabo, they will come. Yabona, the feminine will come. Tabona, y'all masculine will come. Tabona, y'all feminine only will come. Nabo, we will come. So that's your biconsonantal verbs. And this is the same thing. Yeah, I have it twice in here. Let's get rid of that one. There's that one. And that takes care of our imperfect verbs, which is what I wanted to cover today. I have one new thing to cover today, and that's just, it's minor, but it's significant. So it's the Waw Consecutive. And the Waw, it can use as a complementary use to other tenses. So, for example, an imperfect form may be prefixed with a distinctive Waw translated as a perfect tense. And this is distinctive called the Waw Consecutive. Okay, and it comes really from a narrative sequence. I sat down. There we go. I opened my book, but in Hebrew, I sat down, I will open my book, I will study, is kind of how it goes. But it's a logical sequence, but really it's all in past time. So when we come to English, we make it all past tense. And so that's what's hard. Now in the perfect, they do it, and you don't see the difference. So let's go to the next page. And here's some examples. So in the imperfect, Yishmor is he will keep. Yishmor is and he will keep. Yishmor, however, is a Waw consecutive right here. So this becomes and he kept. So the tense changes on that for English. Same thing here. Yomer, as he will say, Yomer, and he will say, Wayomer, and he said. Yeshe, he will sit. Wayeshe, and he will sit. Wayeshe, Wayeshe, and he sat. Nepal, he will fall. When Nepal, will you fall? He will fall. While you fall, and he fell. Yivna, he will build. Yivna, and he will build. While you're vain. Ooh, while you're vain, and he built. So now you even lose the head, and everything is shortened. Yabo, he will come. Yabo, and he will come. Wayabo, and he came. So you get that completely reversed. In the perfect, the same thing can happen. You have to look at the context because the forms are identical. So all these forms are just a washamer, and he kept washamer, and he will keep. So you have to look at the context to see if it changes. Washam wa'amer, and he said wa'amer, and he will say. Wa'yashav, and he sat down. Wa'yashav, and he will say. One not foul, and he fell. One not foul, and he will fall. Wabana, and he built. Wabana, and he will build. And Wabo, and he came. Actually, it's Waba, and Waba, and he will come. So you've got to look, and I made a footnote here, you got to look at the context to see whether you want to infer that this is a present or future tense. And you've got to look at, particularly the narrative is where you see that. Otherwise, I try and keep them in the original tense. However, sometimes, particularly in the imperfect, that can be adjusted or something. So that also influences it. So this is straight narrative, but if there's adjusted in there, then it stays with the future. And he may say, or and let him say. Okay, let me go on to the vocabulary that we have for today. Our vocabulary is avad, to perish, vanish, become lost, go astray. Aha, to love, human or divine love. Ahav tika, I have loved you. And that's what God says to Israel in Isaiah. It's beautiful. Asaph is to gather, to take in, or to take away. Allah is to uncover or reveal. It's also used to be exposed or to carry away into exile. It is a special usage. And then ta'ar is to be clean, ceremonially, to be pure, or to make clean. Allah, to be complete, finished, and end. This is used to bring to a final end. So sometimes you'll say God destroyed them, but he did not bring them to a kalam, to a final end. Other times, he will bring them to a final end. Room is to be high or exalted. In the polale, which is its version of a PA, it means to make a rise or a stool. And then shafat is to judge. And then so the shofat, the guys who judge, or the book of judges, are shofatim, the ones judging. Nouns, ohel is the tent, emet is truth or fidelity. Dam is blood or bloodshed. Damim, often in the plural, is bloodshed. Kasa is the throne, a seat, a chair. Mispah is a number or two number. And Shemesh is sun. I just saw a word the other day, Shimon. And it's really Samson is Shimon. and it means sunshine. And I saw a young lady who's a server in a restaurant. Her name was Simone, and it's the same. So I said, "Your name's Sunshine." She said, "Thank you. I like that." So that was fun. So we occasionally have some fun with our Hebrew. Okay, for our reading, I'd like to take us into Daniel chapter 9. See if I can stop this. Good. Go to the Zoom. Actually, let's go down here. This gets us a taste of a couple things. First, the text. Secondly, some narrative. And thirdly, some prayer. So all of this is good stuff. Bashanat. So Shana is the noun for year. Ba is in the year. Bashanat, year of first. So it's in the first year, La Derish. La is two, Daresh is Darius, who's the king of Persia. So this is in the first year of Darius, then son of Ashweris. Ashweris is the, let's go over here, is the Hebrew name. Yeah, we think it's probably Xerxes. That's found in the book of Esther. Mizrah. So Zerah is seed. Okay, so he's from the seed of, or he's a descendant of Madai, which is the word for Midian. So he's from Midian, which is a nation in the east. Asher is who? Amalek is the king. Al is over. Malkut. Malak is king. Malkut is kingdom. Over the kingdom of Kashdim. Kashdim is the Chaldeans. So the Babylonians, the Chaldeans are the same, just a different name. I believe Chaldean is more the mystical name. Okay, if I look at the second verse, it says, here in the year, Echad first, found to his reign, his reigning, Daniel. So I, Daniel. We need to. I discern. Beneath is between, being is between. And so discerning is to decide between things. So that's where this root comes from. So Daniel discerned in the Sapharim. We know that Saphar is scrolls. So Ba in the scrolls. He discerned in the scrolls. Misfar, the number. Asherim of years. Shana, we just did years. Asherim is plural. That, Asher, which was, or would be, Hayah, Yimako, to the, which is the word of the Lord. The scrolls, the years which were the word of the Lord to Jeremiah. Here, this is Jeremiah. Here, Jeremiah to room is to rise up. So rising up, actually raised up of God, of Yahweh. So the word of the Lord to Jeremiah, the prophet, Hanabi, La, for the completions. Or well, for the desolations. Karav here, Karav is the word for sword. So Karavah is the working of a sword. It's a desolation. It's a battle desolation, and it's the desolations of Jerusalem. So, and here we go, and it's Sabaein, which is 70. Shine years. So in the first, so let's reread this. In the first year, to the reign, to his reign, that's Darius, I, Daniel, discerned the number in the scrolls, discerned in the scrolls, Saphir, the number of years that the word of the Lord that came, that the word of the Lord that were in the year of the Lord to word of the Lord to Jeremiah the prophet for the desolation, for the completion, for the desolations of Jerusalem. And that number is 70 years. So that's what he's figured out. 70 years are determined. And that's what Jeremiah said for the desolations of Jerusalem. And so now that he knows that, he's going to do something about it. And this is the verse I gave at the very beginning here. From Natan. We just studied Natan. This is Etna, I will, and I will give. And this is because of the Waw is a Pathak. There's a comments actually. And it's a Waw Consecutive. So here's a Waw Consecutive. So I will give us this, and I gave, or I set, Pani, no, et is direct object, I set, Pani, my face, El, toward, Adonai, the Lord, Elohim, God. So he set his face toward God, El Bakesh, to seek out with Halah, Tiflah, with prayer, and Kaka Nuni, and Na, this Na here, is to gain favor. So the word supplications really means gaining favor for God, seeking his favor. So I sought with prayer and supplications, through prayer and supplications, but some with fasting. Some is fasting. She's what, 26 times. And it's always fasting. And sak is sackcloth. Afar is ashes. So he's going to put himself, he's an official. He wears nice clothes. Today he'd be wearing a suit to work. He goes home, he sits down in prayer and supplication, and he doesn't have any food, puts on sackcloth, and he sits in ashes. He is literally humbling himself before the Lord. That's what he is doing. His prayer is beautiful. Atpala, and I prayed. Again, this is imperfect. And it's a Hithpel. We haven't had that yet. But and I should be I will pray, but I pray myself actually. But it's a Waw Consecutive. So and I prayed myself, Ladonai to Yahweh, to the Lord, Elohai, my God. Where's the Hithpel? Oh, another one. Okay. That's Waw. And Yadah. And I confess, I gave thanks. Yadah is usually give thanks to them. Shoot to cast, to give thanks, praise, or laud, or to confess in the Hithpel. So I confessed, I said, Anah, alas, Adonai, my Lord, Ahel, God, El is God, the God. Agadol, great, we've had that word. Nova, and awesome. So God is great and awesome. Shomer is a participle we haven't had. He's the one watching or keeping. He's the one keeping Barit, the covenant, and his chesed, and his kindness. Oh, to those loving him. So Achav is to love, to those loving him, and to those Ashereh, Shomer, keeping Mitzvot, his commandments. So he keeps his covenant and his love to those who are loving him and keeping his commandments. And keeping is used both ways there. Panu, it's a passive, simple verb. We have sinned. Blank, just blank. We have sinned. We knew, and we have committed iniquities. Shat is to act wickedly. We have acted wickedly. See the news on the end of all of these? We have sinned. We have acted. We have committed iniquity. We have acted wickedly. And here's another one. I knew, Marad knew, and we have rebelled. Sur. And here's an infinitive. And turned, or by turning, men from Mitzvah, from your commandments. Mitzvah, we saw those keeping his commandments. We haven't kept them. We've turned from te ka. So ka is you, your, that's referring to God. And te is the plural. So we have turned from your commandments and from your shafat, your ordinances, your laws, your judgments. Here's the plural, here's again God's. So we've turned from your commandments and from your ordinances. Oops. Let's see if we have time for one more verse. And further, we have not, Shema is to listen. New, we have not, lo, there's the lo. We have not listened to Avad is a servant. Yod is plural, Ka is your. So these are your servants talking to God. Hanavi'im, the prophets. Navi is the prophets, the prophet. Navi'im is the prophets, which Davaru, they spoke. Bashem Ka, in your name. Shem is name. Ka is your. So they spoke in your name to Melekenu, to our kings, and the yod is plural, to our kings. Serenu, to our princes, and to our Av, to our fathers. Abote, that's plural, new, are. So, and to our fathers, and to call all the people Avets of the land. So you sent prophets, and they spoke in your name to our kings, our princes, our fathers, our forefathers, and to all the people of the land. We still didn't listen. That's the message of the Old Testament, and we do it a lot today too. We're no better. That's the tragedy. We're no better. And so Daniel, and the irony is Daniel is one of the few people about whom we have no sin. So we don't know what sins Daniel committed. We haven't seen him. But he's here confessing the sins of himself and his people, because he's bringing up to the Lord, because it's time for the desolations of Jerusalem to be over. And we're going to see how he calls on God to rescue his people. Okay, so that's our lesson for today. It's been quite a lesson. God bless you. I wish you well. Every blessing in Jesus' name. Thank you.